What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome to the live stream. First of all, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It is absolutely free to do so. I am Nick Beasley. This is the Nick Beasley Show. We had a hell of a weekend of college football, primarily in the SEC. A lot of points were scored, a lot of games were won, a lot of games were lost. We're going to go through all the SEC games, as well as preview tonight's Florida State-Boston College game on Monday night. I will also be live later for Monday Night Raw, so make sure to check that out. Hey guys, before I forget, make sure again to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're on Twitch, hit that follow button. Trying to get to 50 followers on Twitch, trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Again, completely free to do so, guys. Now, we start off with Alabama, baby. Roll Tide. Alabama versus Western Kentucky, 63-0. It was a romp in T-Town, an absolute stomping. So we're going to go through the stats here. All right, we're going to go through all these stats. We're going to look at how these players did. So let's start with Alabama, the SEC team, in this. Jalen Milroe, 7 for 9 passing, 200 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 96.7 QBR. Ty Simpson, 5 for 9 passing, 66 passing yards, no touchdowns but no interceptions. Both of them had no interceptions as well. A great game for both of them. Rushing, Justice Hayes, 4 carries, 102 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Milroe, 10 carries, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. John Miller, 5 carries, 54 yards, 1 touchdown. Ty Simpson, 2 carries, 32 yards, and a touchdown. Daniel Hill, 9 carries, 29 yards, and a touchdown. Kevin Riley, 7 carries, 26 yards. Dylan Lonergan, 1 carry for 16 yards. Richard Young, 6 carries for 8 yards. Kendrick Law, 1 carry for 7 yards. This team absolutely crushed it. The entire game was great. Alabama, baby. Roll Tide roll. Absolutely killed it. Absolutely crushed it, guys. Receiving, Ryan Hollywood Williams. 2 catches, 139 yards, and 2 tutties. 2 touchdown catches for big old Ryan Williams. Kobe Prentice, 3 catches, 43 yards. Hey guys, let me just preface this by saying Ryan freaking Williams is 17 years old. The kid's younger than me, and he's making plays in college football. He's a kid. He is still a kid, and he's absolutely killing it. Caleb Odom, 2 catches, 23 yards. Kendrick Law, 1 catch, 22 yards and a touchdown. Jermaine Byrd, 1 catch, 17 yards. Emmanuel Henderson Jr., 1 catch, 10 yards. CJ Dupree, 1 catch, 8 yards. Josh Kuvas, I think that's how you say his name, Kuvas, 1 catch, 4 yards. Alabama did have 2 fumbles. Jalen Milroe fumbled, and we lost that fumble. Or no. It says there was 2 fumbles. But it says Jalen had 1. We didn't lose it. I'm very confused, but it just said we lost a fumble somewhere. I don't remember the second fumble. I remember the first one. I don't remember the second one, but to be honest with you, I mean, we were having fun. We were beating them 63-0. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Defensively, who was the stud for interceptions here? Oh yeah, Keon Sal, Michigan transfer, had 2 interceptions for 87 yards. So that's Alabama stats. That's the Alabama stats from Western Kentucky's game. Let's go to the Western Kentucky stats. TJ Finley. You SEC fans, y'all know him. We don't like TJ Finley in the SEC. That boy was buns in LSU. He was buns at Auburn. He went to Texas State. He played great. Now he's at Western Kentucky. He played Alabama for the third time in his career with a third different team. 18 for 31 with 92 yards passing and 2 interceptions. May I introduce you again to Mr. Keon Sal? And then Caden Velkamp, 4 for 9, 11 yards, and no touchdowns, no interceptions. Yeah, Western Kentucky sucks. They are so bad. And it was great. Watching that entire game, I felt great. It was great. Elijah Young, 10 carries for 18 yards. TJ Finley, 7 carries for 17 yards. Caden Velkamp, 3 carries, 6 yards. George Hart, 2 carries for 4 yards. Easton Messer, 2 carries, no yards. I'm looking at their stats. Their team sucks. Their team is so bad. That's what you get when you come to T-Town. That's what you get when you play Alabama, baby. Let's go to the next game. This is Auburn versus Alabama A&M. I did not care at all about this game. I did watch it though, because I watched the replay. 73-3, Auburn got the win in a huge day for their team. But let's look at the Auburn stats here. Peyton Thorne, 13 for 21, 322 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Hank Brown, 3 for 5, 96 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Holden Grenier, I guess, 2 for 2, 33 yards. Auburn's rushing attack. DeQuarez Hunter, 4 carries, 53 yards, and a touchdown. Peyton Thorne, 4 carries, 49 yards, and a touchdown. Jermaine Cobb, 3 carries for 26 yards. Justin Jones, 1 carry, 24 yards. Sean Jackson, 3 carries for 13 yards. Damari Alston, 3 carries, 12 yards, and a touchdown. Receiving, Malcolm Simmons, 3 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Perry Thompson, 2 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Keandre Lambert-Smith, 3 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cam Coleman, 2 catches, 62 yards, 1 touchdown. Caleb Burton III, 2 catches, 49 yards. Sam Jackson had 1 catch for 37 yards and a touchdown. Bryce Kane, 2 catches, 33 yards. Robert Lewis, 1 catch, 8 yards. Rivaldo Fairweather, 1 catch, 7 yards. And Jermaine Cobb, 1 catch for 2 yards. So their passing attack was elite. So was their rushing attack, but it's also Alabama A&M. I mean, what are we supposed to do with that? They suck. 73-3 though. But Auburn gave up a score. They gave up a field goal. They didn't blow them out. They didn't shut them out. Auburn defense can't handle Alabama A&M. Just saying. I'm just saying. Let's go to the big game of the day in the SEC. Georgia versus Clemson. I watched this game live. I laughed my ass off at halftime. It was fantastic. Because at halftime it was 6-0 and Georgia's offense looked like shit. But they ended up finding it, winning by 34-3. So let's get into the Georgia stats, because this is an SEC review. We will get into Clemson though. This is real Georgia. Carson Beck, 23 for 33, 278 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nate Frazier, 11 carries, 80. That was his passing. This is rushing. Nate Frazier, 11 carries, 83 yards, and a touchdown. Dylan Bell, 1 carry, 27 yards. Carson Beck, 3 carries for 19 yards. Cash Jones, 1 carry, 15 yards, and a touchdown. Branson Robinson, 7 carries, 12 yards. Aaron Smith, 1 carry for 7 yards. Chauncey Bowers, 3 carries for 6 yards. You know what? They looked good. Georgia in the second half looked real good. The first half they looked like shit. Let's go to the receiving. Landon Humphreys, 2 catches, 63 yards. Arani Smith, 5 catches, 56 yards. Oh yeah, Humphreys also had a touchdown reception. My bad. Lawson Lucky, 2 catches for 37 yards. Dominic Levitt, 3 catches for 33 yards. Dion Bell, 4 catches, 32 yards. Nate Frazier, 1 catch, 24 yards. Colby Young, 2 catches, 15 yards and a touchdown. Cash Jones, 2 catches, 14 yards. Branson Robinson, 2 catches, 4 yards. Yeah, their offense in the second half picked it up, obviously winning 34-3. But let's talk about Clemson for a minute, because I feel so bad, kind of, for Clemson fans, because y'all's coach is stupid. Dabo Swinney should be fired today. I know he's won national championships. I know he's beaten Nick Saban in national championships. I watched those games. I'm an Alabama fan. But this Clemson team is not the Clemson teams that had Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson. This Clemson team refuses to go into the transfer portal. Dabo Swinney refuses to get in the transfer portal and find talent coming that's already played in college football that might be looking for a new home. Maybe they want to go to Clemson, and guess what? They can't, because the coach at Clemson decides, we don't want you here. Dabo, it is 2024, idiot. It is no longer 2016 or 2017. It is 2024. These kids in college football, Caleb Downs, Isaiah Bond, do you think Alabama wanted to lose either one of them? No. But Texas and Ohio State came in. They picked them up. They swooped them away from us. You've got to start doing that. You've got to. Your team is terrible. You scored 3 points. You didn't score anything in the first half, and your points only came in the third quarter. Your only points came in the third quarter. And your defense gave up 28 points in the second half. Your defense isn't good. Your offense is not explosive. You've got no talent on the run game. Your poor quarterbacks back there getting killed because the line can't block. And people thought I thought Clemson was going to win this game. I genuinely thought Clemson could win this game. But then I remembered as I'm watching the game, oh yeah, Dabo Swinney is an idiot. Dabo Swinney should be fired today. Dabo Swinney is almost as bad as LSU's head coach, who we will get into in a minute, because that guy is a dumbass. He is so stupid. Let's talk about the upset of the weekend, maybe? Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech. I picked Virginia Tech to win this. A lot of people have Virginia Tech as a sleeper in the ACC. Be honest with y'all, I did. I did going into the weekend. I picked Virginia Tech, and you know what? I thought, you know what? Virginia Tech is going to win this game, and you know what? They are a sleeper in the SEC. They're a sleeper in the SEC for sure. I was wrong. I was very, 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 very wrong. Vanderbilt is not supposed to have a good team. They're not supposed to win close games. They're not supposed to win games against Power 5 opponents. The only reason they're in the SEC is because they're the smart school of the SEC. It's where all the nerds go. All the dorks. The losers. It's where they go. They go to Vanderbilt. They're not supposed to have athletes, have a good football team. They have a great baseball program, but they're not supposed to have a good football team. Diego Pavaya, a transfer from New Mexico State, I believe is where he went last year. If I have that wrong, I deeply, deeply apologize. 12 for 16, 190 yards, and a touchdown. Or 2 touchdowns. Pavaya also had 26 carries for 104 yards and a touchdown. Cedric Alexander, 17 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. AJ Newberry, 1 carry for 9 yards. Chase Gillespie, 1 carry for 4 yards. Jamani Jones, 1 carry for 1 yard. Eli Stowers, 1 carry, no yards. Junior Sherrill, 1 carry, negative 6 yards. Receiving. Quincy Skinner Jr., 4 catches, 72 yards, and a touchdown. Eli Stowers, 2 catches, 46 yards. Junior Sherrill, 3 catches, 34 yards. Cedric Alexander, 2 catches, 19 yards, and a touchdown. Lokik Faduji, 1 catch, 19 yards. Vanderbilt won this game, and Virginia Tech gave this game up. 34-27 was the final. It was in overtime. In overtime! First of all, how the hell does that happen? This is Vanderbilt. But they got to overtime. 34-27. I'm thinking this. They got to overtime 27-27. I'm thinking this is over. This is over. Vanderbilt, they're going to lose. Fantastic. No! They won the game. Congratulations, Vanderbilt. You finally got a win against a quality opponent. Enjoy it. It'll be the last one you get all year. I mean, dude, Virginia Tech was bad. Like, they weren't, it wasn't that they were bad. They were bad late. They were bad when they absolutely needed their best. So remember, they returned 20 of their 22 starters from last year's team. They've got the same scheme, the same coaching staff, the same offense, same. They just got outplayed today, or yesterday, or Saturday, my bad. They got outplayed. Virginia Tech is not going to be a sleeper in the ACC. Now, they could still run the ACC. It is possible. After what we saw from Clemson and what we saw from Florida State, Georgia Tech, and we'll see Florida State again tonight, we'll really see how good they are. But wow, I'm embarrassed for Virginia Tech, and I am not a fan of the ACC. I hate the ACC, but this was. I really thought Virginia Tech was going to win that game. I had them picked. They did not. Let's talk about Tennessee and UT Chattanooga. 69-3 final. Guess what? The only thing I care to talk about right now? Nico, the star freshman for Tennessee. 22 for 28, 314 yards and 3 touchdowns. He is as advertised. He's a great quarterback. As a young kid, he's young. He's a young kid. He's a freshman. He's 6'6", 215 pounds from Long Beach, California. Tennessee, y'all got yourself a dog. This kid's good. This kid is good. Again, 22 for 28, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And I know it was UT Chattanooga, but this kid showed why he's special. This kid showed why you want to go to Tennessee, play with him. And it worries me. It worries me because as he was that good, and they got a tough schedule coming up. But oh my God, Tennessee might do it. Tennessee could end up being a team. They could very easily end up being a team that wins the SEC. I could see them as a sleeper. I know it's UT Chattanooga. I know they still got to work on their defense. But if their offense does that kind of numbers, that kind of stuff every week against opponents, I can see Tennessee as a playoff team with Nico. Makes me a little bit nervous as a Bama fan since we play them, but we'll handle business. I ain't worried about Bama losing because Bama ain't going to lose. Let's talk about the next step in the SEC. Texas. They come into the SEC this year, brand new to the conference. How are they going to look? How are they going to do? Well, they played Colorado State in week 1. They've got their real test this weekend against Michigan. Texas 52, Colorado nothing. Another shutout. And Quinn Ewers 20 for 27, 260 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's kind of a basic day for Quinn. I'm not surprised at all by Quinn Ewers' name or numbers. Arch Manning. Yes, you heard me right. Arch Manning, the son of Cooper Manning, the grandson of Archie Manning, and the nephew of Peyton and Eli Manning. He is on Texas. This is his sophomore season. Looking forward to it. He was 5 for 6, 95 yards and a touchdown. Jarrett Gibson, 10 carries, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Jadon Blue, 11 carries, 57 yards. A name that Alabama fans will be familiar with. We know him. He's a backstabbing traitor and has never welcome back on Alabama turf. We have Ryan Williams now. Don't ever come back. Don't ever even think about coming back. You're not welcome. Don't show up. Don't even be near the stadium. Isaiah Bond, Mr. Gravedigger himself, traitor, backstab. Thought you were gonna leave us for dead. We replaced you easily in week 1, punk. 1 catch, or I'm sorry, 1 carry, 25 yards. Arch Manning had 3 carries, no yardage, but he had a touchdown. I guess it was QB sneak, I'm assuming. Quinn Ewers had 1 carry for -6 yards. Ryan Wingo, 4 catches, 70 yards. And again, that backstabbing traitor who is not welcome back. Don't even come back to the state. We don't want you in the state either. Isaiah Bond, 5 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown. Jonte Cook, 3 catches, 56 yards. Matthew Golden, 3 catches, 50 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Gunnar Helm, 2 catches, 42 yards. Jaden Blue, 3 catches, 37 yards. Quintarian Windsor, I apologize if I botched his name. If he ever sees this, I apologize if I botched your name. But he had 1 catch for 18 yards. Juan Davis, 1 catch for 11 yards. Amari Niblack, 1 catch for 7 yards. Another guy who could never come back. Traitor. Silas Bolden, 1 catch for 5 yards. Ryan Niblett, 1 catch for -2 yards. I mean, it's Colorado State, right? If it's 2-0, Colorado State's bad. Let's get into the next game. Oh, God, did y'all watch this? If you were in the chat and you watched this next game I'm about to talk about, I'm sorry. Unless you're a Miami fan. If you're a Miami fan, it was awesome for you. A romp in the swamp. 41-17. Oh, this team sucks. Florida sucks. They are terrible. I watched it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how bad this game was. I couldn't believe how bad they were playing. I know Graham got hurt, but like, the defense is awful at Florida. And Miami might win the ACC. 41-17, and I understand. Florida is not that good. I get it. I know. But to get your ass whooped in your home stadium, where it's one of the toughest places to play, you got an in-state rival coming in. Y'all don't play often, but when you do, it's a great game normally. This isn't the Miami that had, all those legends in the past. This also isn't the Tim Tebow-led Florida Gators. This is Cam Ward versus Graham Ertz. And I love Cam Ward. Came from Incarnate Word, went to Washington State. Now he's at Miami. He's absolutely killing it. But you talk about getting your ass whooped. They got their ass whooped. Like, Florida or Miami, and I heard this said on First Take this morning, so I'm going to borrow it from First Take. Marcus Spears said they taped their mouths shut. Wouldn't let them bite back. There wasn't none of this going on. There wasn't no gator chomping. Oh, this was bad. This was bad. I just 41-17. So now the ACC got a win over us, and it wasn't Clemson that got Georgia. Like, okay, Virginia Tech didn't get Vanderbilt. Miami went into Gainesville, into the swamp, and beat the holy crap out of Florida. Oh my God. Oh, it was so bad and funny at the same time. I laughed watching it. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Cam Ward was 26 for 35, 385 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. What? It was great. Like, genuinely, just a great game. Kind of. Because it wasn't, the score reached 41-17. It felt like it was a lot more. Florida just got their ass whooped. Graham Mertz, my bad. 11 for 20, 91 yards, and an interception. DJ Lagway, a true freshman, had to come in because Mertz got hurt. 3 for 6, 31 yards, and an interception. No passing touchdowns by Florida. Their only touchdowns, Montrell Johnson Jr. on the ground with 11, 106, and a touchdown. And then Trayvon Webb, 3 carries, 3 yards, and a touchdown. Miami went in there and beat the crap out of them. It was fantastic. I enjoyed it. Let's talk about another game that happened. South Carolina and Old Dominion. Pretty good game, right? You're expecting South Carolina to handle business. Beaver ball, baby! Beaver ball! You're without Spencer Rattler. What are you going to do? Who's your quarterback? I don't think it would have mattered. 23-19, South Carolina does pick up the win. But I have one question. We're the SEC, supposed to be the best conference in college football. And we got South Carolina out here. Florida got their ass whooped, but that was by an ACC school. We've got South Carolina out here almost losing to Old Dominion. Isn't Old Dominion like a Conference USA team or something? Like, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they are. Or Sunbelt. Let me see what conference they're in. Yeah, they're in the Sunbelt. The Sunbelt. How do you almost lose to a Sunbelt team? I was in shock at how bad South Carolina played. I really didn't. I expected a bad season. I didn't expect 23-19 almost losing to Old Dominion in your opener at home. They were at home. Like, this is worse. This was worse than Florida Miami. Old Dominion almost beat an SEC school. And it's not because they're really good. It's because South Carolina's really bad. Lenoris Sellers, 10 for 23, 114, no touchdowns, and no. You didn't have one passing touchdown the entire game. You had 2 rushing touchdowns. You scored by kicking. You scored by kicking. Alex Hara, 3 for 4 on field goals. He had 11 points. Like, this was embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for South Carolina fans. If you're a South Carolina fan, I am so sorry that your team is so bad. Genuinely. I am so sorry that your team is so bad. Now, let's get into the next game. Mississippi State. Oh boy. They had a game, didn't they? They had a good game, right? Against Eastern Kentucky. 56-7 final. I liked Mississippi State. I liked Mississippi State a lot. I liked them last year. It's a very good team. Blake Shapen, 15 for 20, 247, 3 touchdowns. New quarterback now. Will Rogers is up there. It was a good game, but I mean, it's Eastern Kentucky. I expected Mississippi State to win against Eastern Kentucky. Go to the next game. Ole Miss versus Furman. Do you want to talk about an asshole? I know it's Furman, but 76-0. It's a very good game. It was a very, very good game. Jackson Dart, my favorite quarterback in the SEC outside of Jalen Milroe, is Jackson Dart. I'm rooting for him big time. Hope he has a great season. Jackson Dart, 22 for 27, 418 passing yards, and 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns. No interceptions, 5 touchdowns. Look at that rushing. Jackson Dart had 6 carries for 27 yards and a touchdown. Oh, so he can score with his legs too. That's fantastic. Receiving. Trey Harris, 8 catches, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns. Caden Lee, 4 catches, 78 yards, 1 touchdown. Caden Prisker. Or Prisker. I don't know how to say his last name. He's a tight end on Ole Miss. 3 catches, 77 yards, touchdown. I mean, their team had a field day. Their team had a field day. And I know it's Furman, but still. 76 points? You know Lane Kiffin can score. It's just a matter of can the defense stop anybody. And I mean, it's Furman, but they didn't let up any points. Notre Dame versus Texas A&M. This I'm not even going to get mad about. A&M lost to a good Notre Dame team, the 7th-ranked team in the land. 23-13, lost by 10 on their home turf. Riley Leonard was 18 for 30, 158 yards. He didn't have any touchdowns. Connor Wigman, 20 for 30, 100 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Connor Wigman cost A&M this game. If you don't have those 2 interceptions, you probably have a chance of winning the game. But you have the 2 interceptions, now you can't win the game. I do want to see, was he in stats? So like it was. I was looking for Ryan Clark's son Jordan. He's on Notre Dame now. I was looking to see if he was in the stats here, but it does not look like he was. It was a good game, a Saturday night talking football. Saturday night in A&M, 23-13 final. Notre Dame wins. I mean, good game. Kentucky and Southern Miss didn't even get to finish. They had rain delay in 3rd quarter and ended up just calling the game. It was 31-0. Kentucky handled their business. Congratulations against Southern Miss. And I'll say congratulations. That's a quality Southern Miss team. So Kentucky, congrats. 31-0 again. Good game. Let's get into the Thursday games. But before we do that, guys, if you are watching this on Twitch or YouTube, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, or follow the Twitch, whichever one. Both are completely free, but I do ask you, if you wish to, only if you wish to, you do not have to. It is not, you don't have to do it. It's not forced. Just if you want to help support the channel any further, you can donate to my Cash App. It is in the little ticker at the bottom of the screen. It's also a pinned comment on YouTube. And you support me, and that supports the channel, because then I can get stuff to enhance the live streams, enhance the videos, and make better content for you, the viewer. So again, guys, please support me on Cash App, Nick Wrestling 10. Again, it's on the ticker. It's in the comment sections on both Twitch and YouTube. You do not have to, but I do ask if you will please. That would be awesome. But again, it is not forced. I'm not going to force anybody to ever pay to watch anything. You're never going to have to do that. It's just optional if you wish to support the channel any further than just subscribing and liking the video. Which, if you subscribe and like the video, that helps me as well. So, whatever you do, whatever you decide to do, as long as you're watching, helps me out. Arkansas and Arkansas Pine Bluff, 70-0 Arkansas final. Not worried about it at all. Arkansas's got a good defense. They got a good team. Got a good offense. They'll be fine. Missouri and Murray State, 51-0. Not worried about Missouri at all. Missouri's great. Missouri's a great football team. Brady Cook. Have you heard of Luther Burton yet? He's a great player. They'll be perfectly fine. Let's get into last night's game. Oh my God, I've got things to say. Oh my God, I've got so many things to say. You're going to want to hear this. LSU? What was that piss poor coaching job? Hey, Brian Kelly. We've all by now seen, I'm sure everybody has seen, your little rant at the podium after the game. You're a bad coach. You suck. You left Notre Dame because they were going to fire your ass. And rightfully so. I mean, you're a terrible coach. How in the hell do you go up against Lincoln Riley and get out-coached? On the offense, I understand Lincoln Riley's a great offensive coach. But on defense, you got out-coached. You got outclassed. And it was a 27-20 final. It wasn't that bad, but it was embarrassing. USC has learned how to play defense. They didn't stop them from scoring, but they made the key stops they needed to make. Miller Moss, 27-36, 378 passing yards. He had one touchdown the entire game. One touchdown in the entire game. Is all Miller Moss had. He didn't get it on the ground. He threw one touchdown pass. Running, they had 2 touchdowns. They also, I believe, had a kickoff return for a touchdown. No, never mind. They didn't. Oh, yeah. The rest of their points was from their kicker. The kicker. So let's talk about LSU. Grant Nussmeier, this is not your fault, kid. You played the best you could in a shitty situation with bad coaching. 29-38, 304 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. He had the interception at the end of the game in a throw it up, let's see what we can do kind of moment where your tight end was running to catch the ball and just pulled up. Just pulled up, wouldn't catch it. You had no rushing touchdowns. Receiving, you have the 2 receiving touchdowns. That's really all you got, and that was from Kyron Lacy and Aaron Anderson. Like, LSU played bad, but it wasn't the team's fault. It's the coach's fault. The coach did not have them ready to play. That's what cost them this game. This is a terrible, 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 terrible performance. All I can say about LSU is play the same way against Alabama. Hell, play the same way all year. Please. You know why? It'll be funny. You know why it'll be funny? Because I will be able to laugh and enjoy myself. LSU, I hope you lose every single game this year because you deserve it. You have earned it. What up, Ryan? How you doing, buddy? You deserve it. You've earned to lose every freaking game this year. It's fantastic. I hate my life. I was calling me mental. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Are you still alive? Are you still alive? Temple and Oklahoma 51-3. Oklahoma won. Not surprised, not shocked. I'm not even going to go over it. Whatever. Now, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 SEC teams this weekend that held opponents to 0 points. Awesome, buddy. I hope you had a good stream. I did pop in for like a minute and just watch for a second, but I hope you had a good stream. 6 SEC teams held their opponents to no points. Scoreless. Zilch. 0.0. They suck. The opponent they played are terrible. These are the greatest opponents they could ever play, and they held them to nothing. You have Alabama. Alabama, baby. You had Texas. Horns dime. You had Ole Miss. You had Kentucky. You had Arkansas, and you had Missouri. Those are my top 6 defenses in the SEC. In this order. You ready? Alabama, Texas, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Missouri. No, I'm sorry. Arkansas and Missouri. 1 through 6. All those teams held their opponents scoreless. That's the top 6 defense, in my opinion. Those are my top 6 in the SEC. My top 6 defenses in the SEC, again, are Alabama at number 1. Texas at number 2. Ole Miss at number 3. Kentucky at number 4. Arkansas at number 5. Arkansas at number 5. And Missouri at number 6. Those are my top 6 defenses for this year so far in week 1. That is not an overreaction. That is a fact of life. Now, let's get into next week a little bit. Because next week we got problems. Some teams might lose. So, Auburn will play California next Saturday at 2:30 on ESPN2. I do have Auburn picked to win that game. Auburn is 13.5-point favorites. Alabama, when they crescent the field at Bryant-Denny Stadium to Nick Saban Field. And we're playing a bitch. We will be playing South Florida. Now, why do I say South Florida is a bitch? Because South Florida seems to think in their stupid little minds, at least their coach does, that they're not playing Bama. Bama is playing them. I'll tell y'all something right now. I want an ass whooping. I want Alabama to beat the hell out of South fucking Florida. I hate they're my new hate. It's South Florida, it's Texas, and it's Georgia. I hate those three teams. I hate them. Now, big noon Saturday, big noon kickoff. Here we go. Texas and Michigan. Oh my God. Who do I got picked to win that game? By the way, we've got Bama picked to win South Florida game. But Texas and Michigan. Oh my God. Who do I have to pick that win that game? I'm going Longhorns, baby. I'm going Texas. I don't trust Michigan after what I saw last week in week 1. I don't trust them at all. I think Texas is going to go in there and beat the hell out of them in the big house in Michigan. Arkansas, Oklahoma State. I've got Oklahoma State picked to win it. Ollie Gordon III is just too damn good and will run the ball down their throats and beat up on Arkansas's defense. Now, Texas A&M and McNeese, A&M, because 1, it's McNeese, and 2, they lose to McNeese. Just kick them out of the SEC, please. Georgia and Tennessee Tech. I've got Georgia. Kentucky, South Carolina, the first SEC game of the year for Kentucky and South Carolina. They're facing each other. Who do I have? I've got Kentucky because South Carolina looked like garbage against Old Dominion. So I got Kentucky picked to win, and Kentucky is also 10-point favorites. I would take the 10. Ole Miss, Middle Tennessee State. Ole Miss is 41-point favorites. Ole Miss is going to win that game. Missouri and Buffalo. Missouri is 34-point favorites. Missouri will win that game. I got no problem saying that. Florida and Stanford. Honestly, I've got Florida picked to win it, but I would not be surprised if Stanford wins it. LSU and Nicholls State. I think it's how they say that. I don't freaking know. I've got LSU picked to win it. Tennessee and NC State top 25 matchup. Both teams are 1-0. Duke Mayo's Classic. Neutral site on ABC Saturday night. Tennessee is 7-point favorites. I'm going to take Tennessee because Nico, baby! Woo! I hope he doesn't play that well against Alabama. Vanderbilt, Alcorn State. I'm going to take Vanderbilt. Oklahoma and Houston. I'm going to take Oklahoma. Arizona State, Mississippi State. Late Saturday night, 9:30 kickoff, ESPN. Arizona State is 6.5-point favorites. I'm going to take Mississippi State to win that game. I think Mississippi State's got good enough defense, but it being late and being on the West Coast, you never know. But I do think Mississippi State wins that game against Arizona State. Late game, really late game, but I do have I've got Arizona State picked to win that. Or Mississippi State picked to win that late Saturday. Again, 9:30 kickoff on Saturday night in the SEC. Thank you guys for listening, watching, viewing, subscribing, liking, commenting, all the things. If you wish to support this channel any further, please donate to my Cash App. It's right there in the description. It's right there in the comment, my bad, on the YouTube video and on the Twitch video. Thank you guys for all your support. It is also on the ticker. Again, Nick Wrestling 10 on Cash App with a way to support me and my channel. You're not obligated to do it. I'm not going to make you do it. You're not going to have to do it to be able to watch content. It is still free to watch my shows. It's just if you feel like supporting the channel any further, that's how you can donate to me. Thank you guys. Love y'all. I'll be back next Monday for another recap of the SEC. I'll be live tonight. Planning to be live tonight for Monday Night Raw, barring any changes. I'll let you know if there's any changes. I'll be live Thursday night for damn sure for Ravens and Chiefs, and I'll be live on Wednesday to preview the NFL weekend ahead. Thank you guys. Again, love y'all. Make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, as it really helps me out, and peace.